What's up, Tashunki Nation? It's Fitzbro here, and today we're going to be taking a first look at the matchup of Lakota versus USA. Now, this is a game that Ozzy Drongo and I played on the closed beta of Age of Empires 3, but USA will be coming to everyone just tomorrow, April 13th. So we were playing a series of USA mirrors and figured let's take a shot at a game with me playing as Lakota. So this is my first take at how I think you can beat the United States with Lakota quite effectively, and I'm sure this will be changing with upcoming, balance changes to both Lakota and USA, and we'll just have to see what happens. But let's start talking about some of my strategy I did here in this game. Okay, so to start off there, you see I was able to pick up an early villager treasure, which I thought was a great score. My goal against USA right now is to age up very quickly and to get pressure in his base, because I think it takes the United States a little longer to get up and going. So I think it is in your interest, if you've got a civ that can really apply some early pressure, you're going to want to do that versus USA. Another thing to consider is USA typically starts with less villagers. It takes time for some of their tech upgrades, their trickles, their banks, their later factories to really boost their economy. So if you can pick off any villagers early on, it's just going to be a great boost to your eco and let you hang on. So my strategy on this map, New England, was to take the trade post line and figured I could use that eco advantage to help kind of level with the United States. Now, neither of us actually picked our water deck for this game. I actually do not really like the deck I picked. This is not usually the deck I use for a trade post map. Usually I would have at least 2 wood shipments. So this is a kind of a different matchup and kind of like a demonstration of being flexible with your build and adjusting as you need to. Okay, so here you can see I was able to pick up 100 food treasure, which is really going to help me age up quickly. Drongo and I were talking about this in chat. It is so... The treasures on this map are so amazing. I had 100 food treasure and like an in-base settler just there in age 1, and that's just crazy. And I lost a lot of HP, but it was worth it. And I was even able to grab that rifleman and let him tank damage so I could take that second treasure. So we've got this food so far, and you see we're going to age up here with 16 villagers, which would be technically our 15 villagers, right, if we hadn't gathered that extra 1. So I was able to let us get up just a little bit quickly. And I am going to age up with the 400 wood you're going to see there, which I like to have that extra wood in order to just get that trade post started. And during transition, I will move just about all my villagers to gathering wood. The goal here is I'm going to send forward villagers and build a war hut right in front of his base, so I can start getting some units out on the field. So we're gathering wood. I'm actually not even doing a whole lot of herding because I don't really expect any pressure coming in from America here. I kind of expected he'd be playing pretty turtly. Wasn't sure if he was going to put up some pressure on H2 or if he might fast fortress, so we'll just have to see what happens here. Meanwhile, I've got my villager I gathered out there is able to start herding that hunt in. And as I start to get closer to having that 250 wood, you see I do have a villager heading across the map. You do want to try to place that war hut before you hit H2. You want to at least start building in. I like to use 2 villagers typically to do this so you can get it built in a quick manner. Going into once we hit age 2, you're going to see me collect the wood back at my base. First shipment is going to be 700 wood. You can use that wood to take the trade posts and to stagecoach. Now you're going to see Drongo anticipated this, as many players probably should on a map like this, and actually blocks several of my trade posts. And it takes me a minute to actually notice that it's happening. So I actually quickly pivot my strategy because I didn't want to give him that free stagecoach. So you'll kind of see what happens here in just a minute. Okay, so war hut's just about finished. Age up is going to happen here. You see, I did move most of my villagers back to food, all but 1, and because I'm going to be shipping 700 wood. I typically will move a lot of my villagers back to food when I'm shipping 700 wood. But a lot of times I really just kind of feel out the macro. I don't have like an exact science on how I do it maybe you should. So I queue up Seton, and I am going to ship 700 wood here, and have the guys back at the town center collect those crates, so I am able to drop my first trade post and then get a full batch of Seton out. And I'm using these Seton just to go raid him. Now, if I had scouted properly, I could have looked in the top right and see that Drongo has a trade post right now. I probably would have queued up 5 clubs first to go siege that immediately. Probably would have been the better move here, quite honestly. Or I could at least scout it if he was trying to build, that second trade post that he is inevitably going to build here. So I'm going in to put some pressure on his villagers, assuming he probably doesn't have any army on the field right now. You see that USA has started with their bank. Big thing to know with USA, between their bank and some of their trickle effects, they can really have a lot of hidden income behind the scenes, especially if they have the Pennsylvania Pound. I'm not sure if I did scout what he aged up here. I was kind of focused on getting this pressure down. Okay, so 700 wood comes in. We have my second batch of Seton coming out. I see that he has a barracks, so not too afraid of any cav or anything like that. So we're safe making another 5 Seton. Villagers coming out, mostly going to food, with a few on wood. And we got the second trade post, and this is about the point of the game. I notice, oh crap, he is taking the trade post line, and I was trying to go a stagecoach route. I was able to put some pressure on his vills here, which was kind of my goal, just to kind of slow him down. He already has less vills than me, so idling those is nice. Now he does have that gold income. He can trade at the market, so not sure how much damage this did, but I want to let him know I'm here. You're not going to just boom for free. And trying to force him to build some units. And now you're going to see I go up to check out the other trade posts. I see, oh crap, he has 2 already. And I switch over to training a batch of clubs. This batch of clubs is actually going to do a lot for us in this game you're about to see. So I'm heading on up to the trade post, decide I'm going to deny that. And behind this, my second shipment, you see after wood, I am sending villagers because I wanted to get a strong eco going, just to really try to make sure I can produce the amount of units I'm going to need. Anticipating I'm going to be doing an axe rider switch here very soon. I do drop my market with that wood, and I believe I do pick up hunting dogs here in just a second. So starting to get some gold. I think over macroed my gold, but I think I was busy with this fight that I just didn't pay attention to it for a little bit of time. So the 5 clubs come in, and they're going to make pretty quick work of that trade post. My goal here is just to box out his army. I send my war hut in just to kind of slow him down, or my war chief in to slow his units down. Probably should have pulled him back here. Could have kept him alive. But those Seton are going to do some damage to U.S. Army. He's not going to be able to engage me right now. So there you see back at the base, just adjusting our eco. We're doing pretty good right now on resources with those extra villagers we have. And just to compare right now, I'm on 27 vills. He's on 20 vills. So that's pretty considerable for the start. As far as ecos go, US, you look at all their cards and all of their cool age up things, you think they have just an amazing eco option, but it really does take some time for that stuff to take effect. So it's going to be interesting to see how they match up against all of the other civs that are already in the game. I put down a kind of a defensive TP here. You see that Seton was able to tank that shot, did not, barely lost half his health, and he's going to back up. Now, those militia do have 5 speed, so they are faster than Seton. So they certainly, I think, will be pretty scary in numbers if they start to push you if you have to kite, because they'll just catch you. So I'm throwing down some defensive TPs just to make sure he isn't going to come pick off my clubs. And I'm able to siege both of these war huts down just with those 2 Seton. Now, back there by my war hut behind there, I do end up building a stable. I don't think I've built it quite yet. Yeah, there we go. In come the 5 axe riders, and I did ship 4 axe riders. So far we have shipped vills. In H2 we sent 700 wood. I sent 5 vills, and then we're sending axe riders. And we've got a few guys chopping gold right now. You see I have a little bit of extra gold. I wish I had pulled those off to maybe food or wood right now. But I was kind of busy up there in the north. Okay, so we have 7 axe riders. And right now, I really thought that Drongo was going to try to contest me. Taking 2 trade posts, I thought he was really going to try to hold some map control. So I was trying to keep my cavalry hidden, hoping he would maybe try to push me with militia. So I was trying to bait him into a fight here between this pond and this native post, thinking maybe he'll come between that and I could go around back with the cav. But you'll see he's nowhere to be seen. And actually, he is trying to fast fortress at this moment, which I could have probably anticipated. But I just really felt with those 2 trade posts, he'd be trying to hold some map and thought he might have some more units. But you look at our scores looking pretty nice. And for Lakota to score to be ahead of anyone, is usually pretty crazy. I do see the stable, and I'm worried some hussars are going to drop out on me right now. And I see his troops moving back, and I just immediately go for sieging that stable. I actually thought this was really risky. I originally was going to pull back here. But you'll see I'm very glad that we decided to do this. And I end up trading a lot of this extra gold I'm floating with the market, which is, your market can always help fix macro mistakes you make to get those units out. And I'm still, even at this moment, keeping my axe riders hidden because I was trying to get us around on him, but then finally decide, you know what, we need the siege. Let's go for it. So I'm going to take out the stable. He does call his Minutemen, and U.S. Minutemen are quite strong units. You see I'm constantly trading for some food. Don't really have time to fix my macro at the moment. I believe that U.S. are particularly weak against hand cavalry, especially early on. If they have any of these militia, the axe riders are just really going to deal with them well. So against U.S. players, I've even opened with just sending that 4 axe rider shipment, or just opening stable. You can do a lot of damage, but you do have to be careful. If they go up to Spain, they can have those pikes that can pop out on you. So I think the siege and axe rider mix is very effective in this fight that's going on right now. You see, we make quick work of his army. You did see he did hit age 3, so I'm really nervous right now about that Gatling gun shipment. And Drongo actually tells me in voice chat at this moment, he tells me it's not even in his deck, and I was foolish enough to believe him. He says he doesn't even have it. I decided just to go straight for the town center. I'm like, this is all in. If we can take this out, we can take this game, because I do not want to back off and let him get Gatling guns out on this field at the moment. And we'll see. I think he has a unit pop right now. Yep, there you go. Now those are militia, which are going to be weak against those axe riders. They are very speedy, but we do have our war chief with us, which should help us stay on top of them at the moment. Let me unlock and stay on this battle here. Okay, so we're able to make quick with the state militia. I was kind of surprised he didn't send Gatlins first, but I can understand being afraid that they would maybe instantly die. He maybe could have done some quick walling for the Gatling guns, which I think he maybe does here. But at this moment, I know it's like all his villagers are in there, and we can see we truly have all of the villagers in there. There he goes. He's starting to build his wall. We just have to take out this town center. So I know that Gatling gun... Well, at this point, I think the Gatling gun shipment isn't coming because Drongo has fooled me. Here comes the Gatlins. And you can see, even against Cav, they do quite well. But luckily, my Seton are right on top of the second. We lose those first batch of axe riders to the Gatling guns. As you can see, Gatling guns do deal with cavalry, unlike falconets. But we are able to bring in that second batch of axe riders. And we are able to survive on just constantly sending falcons. And if we look at the difference in eco right now, I'm on 33 vils. He's at 22 vils. We have an extra 10. Now, he does have a bank and maybe some trickle cards. But those are, as far as eco, we're in a really great spot, even if we did pull back right now. So inevitably, this town center is going to go down. And Drongo is going to call the GG. So my initial reaction for how to play this matchup for Lakota versus USA is to be super aggressive, get on top of their villagers. If you can get a few picks, it can be really beneficial to slowing down their economy. And I feel like you can actually have a better economy early on if you don't let them play too greedy. So I think opening with either a war hut like I did here on a trade post map like this, or maybe a non-trade post map, I might start with a stable and base and just start off with just having axe riders just constantly raiding them. I think is a strong play against Lakota. You just have to watch out for those pikemen that they can call if they have the Spanish, or you have to watch out for the stronger Minutemen. Now let's look at Drongo's deck here. And if you're not very familiar with the USA deck, you might want to check out some of the other USA guys around on YouTube. I have a few looks at USA in my YouTube channel. And of course, I highly recommend Ozzy Drongo's. His actual channel is Ozzy_Drongo. He has a very in-depth USA guide you can check out how he did it. But let's just look at some of the stats here. So villager-wise, you see once we sent... This was my third shipment after 700 wood of these vills. I mean, look at how far ahead we are as far as vill count here. I mean, that's... For that early in the game, I feel like that is pretty staggering. Let's look at the resource count. I mean, you can really... We didn't even get stagecoach. Imagine if we were able to secure the stagecoach, the position we're going to be in. So I think you can really put on some pressure and then be greedy as far as your shipments. I didn't send many unit shipments other than I sent axe riders after those 5 vills. I actually debated sending sending the Great Hunter at the time, but I'm kind of glad we didn't. So let's look at just some of these other graphs over here. So villager count, you can see, about the 6 minute mark, we really pull ahead. Of course, we were 1 villager ahead thanks to that treasure we picked up, which certainly helped us. We age up just a little bit faster with the 400 wood age up. Perhaps you could try a fast age up with maybe sending that 4 axe riders and trying to really get in their base. But I generally almost always think 400 wood is the safest bet as far as eco goes, unless you really have something planned with the fast age. Let's go military unit count. He never really made a whole lot of units, but when they did pop here in age 3, we had some weaker unupgraded infantry units. It's not like, when Germany hit age 3, they've got those, instantly upgraded skirmishers that might pop out, or whatever might have you. They still have to upgrade these units. So as far as like when they hit age 3, I don't think America has a super strong military reaction. Their strongest shipment obviously being 3 Gatlins. It's going to take time for their for all of their shipments to take place or those tech advantages. So I think there's a lot of advantage in rushing USA because I think you can get in there just quick enough and overpower them. Axe riders are very strong H2 units. Let's look at the resources gathered. And he has banks and all that. So, and honestly, even with my having more villagers, you can see here, I guarantee you this is from the trickle rate that he had from his banks and whatever else he might have sent. He was able to pretty much stay on par with us. Granted, I did ship some crates, but even with a lower vill count, you see USA did hold on. So that's an important thing to note. You really have to get on those villagers, play greedy, because if you don't, imagine if I hadn't sent that villager shipment, what this might have looked at. But we did pull ahead here at this moment when we were able to idle him. Are we able to see? Let's look at his deck and see if we can see what cards he was sending. That is the wrong button. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it looks like he did not send. So what I would do against USA, scout if they have Spain in their deck as the Spanish immigrants, because the Spanish immigrants is going to send an outpost, a trickle rate of XP, and you can levy pikemen, which could be really damaging if you're trying to rush in with some axe riders or something like that. So I could have looked here and seen he did not have that. Now, he did probably send this French immigrants as a first card, which you have to know that's going to give all of his villagers more hit points, 35% more to be exact. And send 3 CDB, which are going to be harder to rate. So that's why it was a little bit harder for me to pick off those villagers, of course. But as far as card order, I think he sent this Virginia. I'd imagine he probably sent French immigrants. Probably one of these. I don't know if he sent probably Hamiltonian economics, which is going to give him free market ups, or Virginia Assembly. But things to consider. When we hit age 2, these are cards that it takes time to research, right? This is a eco card. It's going to take time for him to research these texts. This is a building he's got to put down, and research. All of these things take time to take effect for USA, which I think is, you have to play on the advantage of, 4 axe riders is a super strong shipment. The fact that you can take map control and get some military pressure. Imagine if we had actually got this TP line up. I think we would have been in a really good spot if I had scouted a little better and went after that. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this Lakota versus USA first look, and I'm sure we're going to be having a lot more of these games to come. Hey guys, if you have not already, head on over to twitch.tv/Fitzbro and hit that follow button to catch my next gaming live stream. I'll see you there.